And finally, the Supreme Court itself. Constitutional battles are adjudicated by the Supreme Court. So when you know what the composition of the Supreme Court is, which is 3 justices appointed from Quebec, 3 justices appointed from Ontario, 1 from the Maritimes, 2 from Alberta. How do you think a constitutional battle would be adjudicated? In Alberta's favor? No, impossible. So here is the problem, folks, is that it's impossible, in my opinion, to fix Alberta's circumstances in Confederation, at least now. Now, what about the alternative? In other words, the alternative being Alberta getting out of Dodge. Both of those paradigms are impossible. And the reason is because they both lack the same thing. And that is leverage. There is no leverage to fix Alberta's circumstances in Confederation, nor for Alberta to chart a new path forward as an independent, sovereign, constitutional republic. But folks, you could give a government, a provincial government, that mandate. And that mandate, with leverage, is a successful referendum on independence. Now think about it. That gives Alberta the moral and legal legitimacy to chart a new path forward. Now, imagine electing an independence-focused government in 2023. That government, and ask yourselves the question, for whoever you vote for, will this person as a leader, or will this government protect my interests and absolutely protect my freedoms and rights and never abrogate them again and put it in a constitution? And protect and enhance my prosperity and self-determination? That's a question you have to ask when you're voting. But imagine an independence-focused government is elected. And that government then goes ahead and takes control of that which it can. Policing, pensions, immigration, employment insurance, and provincial tax collection. And sets legislation that changes the regulations of ATB and Service Credit Union so that they are no longer federally regulated. You set that stage. That can be done within 2 years of the 2023 provincial election. Then, what happens after that is the public can then be asked the question. Because after all, government needs to serve the public. It's not the other way around. But somehow right now, it is the other way around. And we need to take government back. So, the government can then say, we are having a referendum on independence. And that should appeal to both paradigms. Because what you're after is leverage. So assume for a minute that that referendum question is affirmed by the public. Then the government can say, folks, we're going to go to Ottawa and we're going to negotiate in good faith for 6 months or 12 months to get everything that we want. That's federal tax collection. That means absolute control of healthcare and education and infrastructure and the development and transport of natural resources. And failing to get that, unilaterally, then, after a year of trying to negotiate, just like Brexit, they left, they didn't get the deal that they wanted out of the European Union, so they left. Well, by the same token, we could do the same thing. Now, there's a lot more to this, because in that period, from electing a government that's independence-focused and having that referendum, you're also negotiating with other nations, the Commonwealth, the US, etc., for their support. And I can tell you this, and when the midterm elections come up in November, it's pretty likely, at least in my opinion, that the Republicans are going to hold sway in the House and in the Senate. We've already made some overtures to the Republican Party. And that being the case, I'm very confident that we will have the support of the U.S. as well. Not to become the 51st state. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is their support, which gives us credibility as an independent sovereign nation. We can actually make that happen. So the Alberta Prosperity Project now, what are we doing to make this happen? Our intention is, because we're nonpartisan and nonprofit, our intention is to educate 500,000 or 1 million Albertans to be involved and get on the independence train. Now that independence train can go in one of two directions, right? It can go in the direction of fixing Alberta's circumstances in Confederation, and it can go in the direction of Alberta becoming an independent nation. So we are rolling out this massive educational program with a multimedia support, marketing and advertising company, a company as well, and we're going to be setting up 90 to 100 chapters, educational chapters throughout the province, in order to make this educational program a success. Now, I'll ask you a question. This is the final little bit to this, and I know there's going to be a lot of questions afterwards, and I'm really happy to answer them. You're going to enjoy what Tanner has to say in a few minutes as well. But how many people here right now, if Jason Kenney remains the leader after the April 9th leadership review, how many people here will vote for the UCP? Okay, some of you will vote for the UCP. How about if Brian Jean becomes the leader of the UCP? How about if Daniel Smith becomes the leader of the UCP?